What does the tarot hold in store for your astrological sign this March? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award-winning Fearless Tarot and the brand new Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards in Matters of the Heart, which is out now from Llewellyn Books. And it's a really great resource for not only understanding the people you care about most in your own life, but also using the tarot to understand what it's talking about when it comes to your own personality and to your own desires. It is time for this month's Taroscope. So every month I do a little tarot reading for every astrological sign. I start with Aries and I end with Pisces. And there's these convenient little timestamps on the bottom of your screen to quickly scroll to your astrological sign to hear your message. And if you want an even more accurate reading, you might also want to listen to the message for your astrological moon sign and rising sign as well. So without further ado, let's get into this month's Taroscopes. We're going to start with the astrological sign of Aries. So if you're an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, this is going to be your message. And the first card for Aries this month is actually the Three of Cups. And this card is long associated with celebration. It shows the three graces, also called the charities in ancient Greek mythology, dancing in a circle. And you don't need to be a tarot expert to look at this card and know that it represents overflowing wonderful feelings. The charities are where we get our words in English, charm, charisma, character from. And so this could be a time for Aries where you're really stepping into your own personal charisma. Don't underestimate the power of your smile to open doors for you or to make some sort of possibility happen for you where there was a closed door before. The Three of Cups is also a card of elevating the energy. So if you've been feeling really low or not as motivated, this is a wonderful card for getting excited about your best opportunities again and moving forward with them. The second card I'm going to go into for Aries is advice from your inner wisdom, and we get another Cups card, which is the Queen of Cups. And with the appearance of two Cups cards, this could just say that March 2023 might be a little bit more of a sensitive time for Aries because Cups in the tarot have a lot to do with our emotions and our feelings. When we see the Queen of Cups, you can see her here looking at the most elaborately decorated chalice in the Waite Smith Tarot. And what this indicates is that this queen really appreciates her emotions and her feelings. She values them, she prizes them. And that can be a really unusual thing for us, especially in this modern age when we're always racing to find a way to numb our feelings, to distract ourselves from something deeper that's going on. The Queen of Cups and the Three of Cups are telling Aries to dare to go into your own emotions this next month. There's going to be wonderful things that happen when you feel life this month instead of just thinking through it mentally. Also, these cards can just indicate to follow where your feelings are guiding you. Your heart is telling you to follow your bliss, follow where the joy is. And if you do, doorways are going to open. Next, let's go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we actually get the Moon card. And the moon is one of the most sensitive cards in the tarot as well. It can indicate those unconscious forces that are pulling at you. So for Taurus, this could be a time to listen to your intuition. The moon in Latin is luna, where in English we get our word lunatic from. So the warning of the moon card is that if you don't listen to the deeper undercurrents of what your inner self is whispering, you're going to start to feel disconnected, maybe even a little crazy, or like you're experiencing a patch of bad luck. The moon is telling you to trust what you know to be true and to follow your inner North Star towards your own heart's desire. The moon can also indicate that you want to trust your first impressions this month. If something doesn't smell right or feel right, listen to that instinct. Don't just shove your feelings down and say, do it anyway. This is a card that really tells you to trust what you're seeing and to follow through with it. The next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Taurus for this next month. And we actually get the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is a card of transition in the tarot. There's a lot of transition cards in the tarot. Some of them are a little bit more dramatic than others. But in the case of the Six of Swords, it's the benevolent transition card. It's as simple as getting into the boat and following the natural current of your current life. And also the Six of Swords can indicate leaving the rough waters of your life behind and sailing toward the smooth waters. If you look up the Six of Swords on YouTube or on a tarot channel or in any tarot book, a lot of times the card will signify a move. And so if this is a time when you're thinking about moving or looking at your future travel plans, this is a great time to consider that, Taurus. Also, the Six of Swords is telling you to follow the smoothest course. There is this natural current weaving through your life right now. And if you try to fight the river, you're going to lose. So instead, it's important to just go with the flow, surrender to where this is taking you, because the Six of Swords does promise that it is taking you towards safe harbor. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we actually get the Hermit card. And the Hermit can signify a time of introspection. He can also indicate that this is a time to go within, to uncover maybe some shadows that might be lurking within. The Hermit is walking through the dark, and all he has is this little lantern to guide his way. And he can't see the whole path in front of him. And so for Gemini, this might be a time when it feels like you're walking through the dark and you're not able to see the whole path as well. However, that lantern is guiding you, and it's filled with starlight, which reminds us of what's eternal, what is more transcendent with our own life. And so this is going to be a time when you're really reminding yourself, Gemini, of what is eternal, what's your purpose. And although you can't see the whole path and how this all works out in the end, you don't need to. You have enough information in front of you to make the next correct, appropriate step. And if you take those next steps, the next steps are going to be illuminated by the lantern. So you really want to just trust what you're discovering right now and bravely face your shadows. The Hermit is the one who brings the shadows to the surface. The next card we're going to go into for Gemini is where it's best to, advice from your inner wisdom for this next month of March 2023. And there's the shadow card, the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords can indicate that this is a time to expunge some old fears. The Nine of Swords can represent feeling isolated or afraid. And the Hermit is the brave one who faces these shadows and pulls them out. He shines the starlight on them. And light is the best disinfectant for shadows. So this could be a time for Gemini where you're really starting to look at those sensitive parts of yourself and bring them into the light. You might also want to question some of your fears that might be keeping you in isolation or feeling stuck or frustrated, and overcome it. Although a lot of swords cards get a bad rap in the tarot, for me, they're the most healing cards in the tarot. They really hide where your breakthrough is waiting for you. And so for Gemini, this isn't the month to distract yourself from what's calling within, but instead to really listen to that deeper inner wisdom and to bravely shine a light on what your shadow is trying to reveal to you. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer, or you have a lot of Cancer in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for March. And we get the Seven of Pentacles. This is the card most associated with the number one word everyone hates to hear in a tarot reading, which is patience. So Seven of Pentacles is saying that the seeds have been planted. Things are growing beautifully for you, Cancer. However, this isn't the time of really reaping the rewards. On the card, it's not yet harvest time. And yet, this is also a card that says that you're on the right track. You've been doing all the right things, and you're just needing to prune the plant that you're growing in front of you right now. The Seven of Pentacles promises a good harvest for you with effort and also with time. And instead of getting worried this next month for Cancer, this is an important time to get productive. So just get the job done and really just allow yourself to invest in what's going to bring you value over the long term. Advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Cancer, is the Empress reversed. And normally, upright, the Empress can signify a time when you're nurturing yourself, nurturing others. Could also signify a time of abundance and plenty. When she's reversed, she can indicate that it might feel like some of that energy is really blocked. It might also be a time where something that desires to be nurtured or needs to be cared for is being neglected. So when the Empress comes up reversed, she really asks you to look for the thing that you've been missing. Look for the thing that is also requiring your attention. What have you been putting on the back burner with your own needs at this time? The astrological sign of Cancer is one of the most nurturing signs in the zodiac, but one thing they can often be guilty of is being so focused on the needs of others that they neglect their own heart. And the Empress reversed is calling you back home to your own heart to really nurture that which you need to see grow. Also, both of these cards, the Seven of Pentacles and the Empress card, show a garden scene. And so there's this patience quality to these two cards, which really does indicate that it's important that you're waiting, that you're letting things grow slowly but surely. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo, or if you have a lot of Leo in your chart, this next card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we actually get the Devil reversed. Now, when the Devil comes up reversed, he indicates that you're wriggling free from some mental traps, from some challenges that have been going on in your consciousness. A lot of times the Devil represents our inner saboteur, the thing that trips us up every time. He's that negative voice in our ear that everybody has. I like to say that everyone's got an angel on their shoulder, but everyone's also got a devil on their shoulder too. And the voice that you listen to is the voice that gets stronger. When the Devil comes up reversed, he's indicating that that negative inner voice is starting to lose power. It might not be like you're out of the woods yet. You might still be struggling with some major self-doubt or some challenge, but you are stronger than you were the month before. The Devil reversed can also signify a time when it's important to stand up to something that's keeping you stuck in a spiral, and instead to shine some sunlight on it. That's going to be the best disinfectant for your own shadows and fears. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Leo, for March of 2023 is actually the Knight of Cups. And he's the messenger of love in the tarot. The Knight of Cups is also really widely associated with the astrological sign of Mercury. Because if you look at him, he's wearing the winged shoes and helmet of Mercury, the messenger god, who's also the god of communication. And when we take that symbolism of the cup suit, which has to do with our feelings, and we marry that with the mercurial energy of Mercury, the messenger god, the Knight of Cups can indicate having a difficult conversation, speaking some of those shadows out. This is an important time for you, Leo, to speak about your fears, to speak about what's going on. It might also be a time to have difficult conversations with others, to be assertive, to stand up for yourself. Sometimes the Devil reverse can indicate that you've been far too long in a situation that's made you feel tied up, scared, or trapped. And instead at this time, it's important for you to really just free yourself from that by talking, discussing the shadow. And it's so interesting, when we discuss a fear, when we discuss something that we have been bearing for so long, it starts to loosen its grip on us. It starts to loosen its hold. And suddenly we feel stronger. And so for Leo, I feel like this is a time to be courageous and brave. The Knight of Cups is the brave messenger of love. And it can be a challenging thing to talk about a deep feeling, to talk about something that's important for you. But it's important that you have faith in that. Also, anything that has to do with the gift of gab or making personal connections is going to be really highlighted this next month of March 2023 for you, Leo. So you really want to trust your ability to speak and to charm, and you also want to stand up to your biggest fears right before you step out on that stage and do it anyway. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or you have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we actually get the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a card of triumph. It's telling you to go for it. It's also a card that says that you have the power again. And it's important to take your personal power back. All aces in the tarot are wonderful to get. And in the case of the Ace of Swords, this is a card that says this is the time to take charge, to really get that ball rolling. It's also a card that says that you want to be assertive and direct. And that's different from being snarky or cruel or just mean for no reason. The Ace of Swords is really telling you to be direct, but in a very dispassionate way. It's an air card. Swords in the tarot have to do with that element of air, which has to do with the intellect, how we communicate, and also what we think. And it's important that what we're declaring about ourselves is empowering. What we're really expressing to others is also something that really validates our power. So for Virgo this next month, it's important that you're also conscious of the energy you're carrying with you. You want to look empowered and strong. You don't want to look like you're acquiescing to whatever challenge is in front of you. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Virgo, for March of 2023, is actually the Chariot card, another potent card of victory in the tarot. Both of these cards are cards of winning. So whatever you are thinking of throwing your hat into the ring for, Virgo, this is the month to do it. It's also time to leave your comfort zone, go out into the world and take a shot on what your major goal is. The Charioteer is leaving the walled city behind him. And that symbolizes he's leaving what's comfortable behind him. He's leaving the familiar. And his chariot is being pulled by two sphinxes, which are creatures of mystery in ancient Egypt. So this could be a time where, Virgo, you really need to trust where the mystery is pulling you. You might also need to take a chance and be victorious on your goals by going for it, by being assertive, by making it happen, instead of waiting for it to be delivered to you on a silver platter. This is a time to get busy and get to work. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or you have a lot of Libra in your chart, this first card is where it's best to place your focus for March 2023. We actually get the Two of Wands. This is a card of ambition in the tarot. It shows this lord of a manor. He's got everything you could possibly want. He's got this great property. He's sitting, or standing, I should say, in the battlements of his castle, looking at this grand view that he has. And yet it's not enough for him. He's holding the globe in his hands. He wants the world. And so for you, Libra, this is a time to dare to wish for more. It might also be a time when you're restless, you're yearning for more. You may feel like this desire to do something big or to make something happen, and yet it might not be quite clear what that thing is. When the Two of Wands comes up, it really tells you to get very focused and direct and clear with yourself about what your goals are. What's the end game? Also, the Two of Wands has an insatiable quality to it. Just like the figure on the card, he's successful, but he wants more all the time. And no matter what he achieves or what he gets, he's constantly feeling like he needs to prove himself even more and more and more. And so for you, Libra, maybe this is also a month where you want to stop. You want to look at your successes. I'm not saying to rest on your laurels and not make your goals happen, but what I do feel like you need to do as well is to show gratitude and appreciate the things that you've achieved so far. It might also be a time to pinch yourself and look around and to see all the wonderful things in your life that you once desired so badly, and just notice that they're here now. So Two of Wands is really a card of sometimes ambition, sometimes pushing yourself and striving towards greater heights, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's also a card that really does illustrate the importance of being conscious of the thing you've already achieved. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Libra, for March of 2023, is actually the Page of Wands. And whenever I see this card, I think of the word talent. So the Page of Wands is saying that you're grasping your talents, you're growing in something. Also, I feel like this has been something that's continuing for you for a while. So you're still stretching into your talent, you're still growing, you're still finding your voice, or finding how to refine or polish something that you're bringing into the world. However, the Page of Wands is always optimistic. He's also another Wands card. So for Libra this next month, we got two Wands cards, which are associated with the element of fire. This is a time to be bold, to be courageous, to take action, maybe even to get more active. Instead of just passively waiting or wishing for things to get better, these cards are really telling you to light a fire underneath it and to get moving. The Page of Wands can also indicate an optimistic end, and also the possibility of travel, movement, going into some other realm or direction in order to discover your own breakthrough. Whenever we see the Page of Wands, he's holding that staff that's in front of him that's a lot taller than he is. It's like a measuring rod, but he's growing into it beautifully. And he's optimistic. He's always looking up. So this is a time to be optimistic about the future. Married with that Two of Wands, it might also be a time when you're looking around and not all of your goals have manifested as brilliantly as you wished, and yet they're still growing. These cards are telling you to not give up the fight and to keep pushing forward, and in time, you will have that breakthrough. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, the first card is where it's best to place your focus for March 2023. We actually get the High Priestess herself. The High Priestess is the personification of your intuition. She's that deeper inner voice that never steers you wrong. She is not, however, your fear. And a lot of times we're told, look within for the answer. And it's like when we look within, the first thing we're met with, and that first layer is a fear. And the High Priestess is deeper, below the fear, beyond the mist, beyond the veil. And it's important that for Scorpio this next month, you're getting quiet and you're pulling back the veil of your fears, especially your fear of change. There's this veil behind the High Priestess and it's decorated with pomegranate fruit. And that's long associated with the underworld. We all know the story of Persephone, who eats the pomegranate seeds in the underworld and has to stay there part of the year. The High Priestess could be coming up for Scorpio to say that the first thing you're being met with is that thin, skimpy veil that represents your fear of death, change, transformation, and ending a cycle that has been long overdue to finish. And the High Priestess is telling you, go beyond the mist, go beyond the veil, get into your deeper self, and trust that inner instinct. It's time to make your move. Next, we're going to get advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Scorpio. And we actually get the Nine of Wands. And Nine of Wands can really illustrate what might be causing some of this fear. The figure on the Nine of Wands is wearing a bandage on his head. He's been bumped and bruised by life, and yet he's still standing. The Nine of Wands is a card of resilience. However, there might be a fear of getting hurt here, or of enduring something that's painful or difficult whenever we see this card. However, I feel with that High Priestess card that it's important to go beyond that fear of something that might potentially hurt you, and to be vulnerable, to take a stand. The way you'll prevent getting hurt this time around is also illustrated on the Nine of Wands, because with the 9 branches that he's gathered, he used 8 of them to build a fence. And fences are symbols of boundaries. So I feel for Scorpio, it's important you're standing up for yourself, but you're also putting up some boundaries with people who might potentially hurt you or even take advantage of your kindness or your good heart. It's important to take that stand. And yet it's also a time to really be strong and to really trust what your instincts have been whispering all along. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sag in your chart, the first card we're going to go into is where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we actually get the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is one of the most sensitive cards in the tarot, but also one of the most creative cards. The Page of Cups is the card of artists. You can also see that there's this little fish that's whispering into his ear. And what that indicates is that something from the deep undercurrents of your own unconscious are whispering to you again. It's coming to the surface. The fish knows where all the sunken treasure is buried in the ocean. And so this could be a time when you are really listening to your inner voice, your inner intuition for where you're going to find the sunken treasure. The fish is also a symbol of luck and plenty. And this could indicate that that little voice in your ear is leading you towards those things. The Page of Cups could also just say that you're a little bit more moody than usual right now. It might also be a time when you're a little more sensitive. So you might want to be a little bit more protective of your own sensitive feelings as we're going through this next month. However, the Page of Cups is always optimistic. And he really tells you that a good outlet for you for March 2023, Sagittarius, is to play, to enjoy what you're doing, to find the wonder of it all again. If you've been uninspired with your work or regiment or whatever you're dealing with, this could be a time when you're being playful with it, when you're finding a way to incorporate fun or marry something pleasurable into something that could feel like drudgery otherwise. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Sagittarius for March of 2023, is actually the Temperance card. And the Angel of Temperance is all about healing. The angel is pouring 1 full cup of water into an empty cup. He's moderating his energy. He is also a symbol that really indicates that it's important for you to identify what's running empty in your life, Sagittarius, and replenish it. The Temperance angel is also a card of moderation. 1 foot is in the water and 1 foot's on the dry land. It's a time to not only trust your feelings and listen to what your heart wants, but also it's a time to be very practical, to create some structure. And also, if you're worried about something that requires healing, the Angel of Temperance is always a reassuring figure. He's indicating that things are healing, things are mending, and that you just need to be patient with yourself and give yourself what you're needing without overdoing it. Your body is a wonderful barometer for how much it can take. And so you really want to listen to the little clues you're getting from your own physical self and really replenish your body by giving it what it needs at this time. All right, next we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we actually get the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups shows this figure who's under a tree. He's really worried about his problems. He's thinking about the past. He's worried about the future. He's completely not present because right in front of him is this hand coming out of a cloud offering him a golden cup. And yet he can't see it. He also possesses 3 golden cups already, and he doesn't see those either. And so this is a card sometimes that really tells you to stop, to be present. If you've been projecting too far ahead, Capricorn, or if you've been stuck too far behind, it might be time to train your attention to where your power truly resides, which is in the present. And the Four of Cups is just telling you to be aware of the blessing that's knocking at your door right now. Sometimes we think that life needs to be more complicated or it has to be more challenging, and the breakthrough that we're looking for is just staring us in the face and we're just not able to see it. And so for Capricorn, this is a time to stop, to acknowledge what's in front of you, and also to just open yourself to the blessing that's happening. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Capricorn, for March 2023 is actually the Five of Wands. And this is a card traditionally associated with competition. It shows 5 adolescents. They're all in this power struggle to prove who's got the biggest stick. On a very basic level, this card can indicate that this is a competitive month for you, Capricorn, perhaps professionally or with other people that you're dealing with in your life. Everyone's got a different idea. Everyone's got a competing interest. And yet, the message of this card is not to meet the adolescents where they're at, but instead to rise above, to be the adult in the room. This card really warns as well of the comparison game. So-and-so has this, and so-and-so is doing that, and what am I doing? Maybe I need to push myself further. And nothing could be further from the truth. The Five of Wands really tells you the futility of comparing apples with oranges, and it warns against making false equivalencies this next month. So for Capricorn, it's so important for you that you're really trusting the path that you're on right now, and that you're also just acknowledging what's being presented right now, not getting too worried about the conflicts around you, not getting stuck in the past, not going too far ahead, but being aware of where that opportunity is right now. That is going to be where the change of energy really occurs for you. And next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March 2023, and we get the Strength card. I love this card because it shows this woman in the white gown. And that white gown is a symbol of your spirit, your higher self. And so is the woman, and she's taming the lion. And the beast in the Strength card represents something that's big, unruly, challenging, difficult to control. And yet the woman is reining the lion in through self-control. She's also being kind to it. She's not beating the lion up or trying to kill it. She's actually just restraining it gently, closing its jaws so that it doesn't consume her. The lion for everybody is different. For some people, the lion is their fear. For some people, the lion's their ego or their anger or their rage. And it's the same message. It's time to rein that thing in that's really been running amok in your own consciousness. It's also a time to exert some self-control. The lion doesn't need to be destroyed because the lion can also represent a healthy sense of pride, nobility, and dignity. And it's important that you're really channeling your ego towards its best possible use in this current situation. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is a card of replenishment. It's also called the Wish card. And it really indicates that this is a time to set your intentions. The figure on the Nine of Cups is sitting in front of a table set with 9 golden cups all in a row. They look like trophies. And the meticulously set cups on the table can really be a symbol for you at this time, Aquarius, that it's time to set the table for your own goals, for the banquet that lies ahead for you. It might also be a time to make your wishes, to set your intentions, and to hope for bigger and better things. The Nine of Cups is also a card of pleasure and fulfillment. So this could be a time when you're really just allowing yourself to feel satisfied with what you're accomplishing. And finally, the Nine of Cups shows a figure who's rather satisfied with himself. And coupling that with the Strength card, it could indicate that this is a time where you need to celebrate something you've been reining in. Maybe you've been standing up to a personal fear or a challenge. And this is a card that says, job well done. Now it's time to enjoy the banquet that you've worked so hard for. And finally, we're going to go into the last sign, the astrological sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces or have a lot of Pisces in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best to place your focus for March of 2023. And we get the Eight of Cups, which is always telling you to heed the call within. The figure on the Eight of Cups is reminiscent of the Hermit, and he's on that night journey. He's going toward the land of water and grottos. And water, as we discussed earlier in the video, has to do with emotions, feelings, and also our deeper intuition in the tarot. There's also an eclipse happening on the card where the moon is blocking out the sun. If the sun is a symbol for our external self, our image, how we want people to see us, and the moon is blocking it out, the moon is a symbol for our inner life, our inner needs, what's most authentic within us. And so I feel for Pisces, it's important not to get stuck with the image of things, how things appear, but to go deeper. It's also time to heed the call within. The Eight of Cups can sometimes accompany a little bit of a downtime, a time of melancholy. And so this might be a time when you're really introspective. You're looking at the year ahead. This is a whole new beginning. Happy birthday to you, by the way. And it's like, what do you fill this up with? Where are you at right now? Maybe that even feels a little daunting. And yet that Eight of Cups is always telling you to follow that inner call. Listen to the moon, listen to your inner intuition, and this will guide you forward. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Pisces for March of 2023, is actually the Ace of Pentacles. This is a card of opportunity and success. And I'm kind of getting this feeling for March for Pisces. It's like this is the month where you're going to go through the journey, where you're going to really be introspective. You're going to figure out what it is that you're desiring. But then I feel like the opportunity follows. This might be an opportunity that comes up in the next several months for you. And it's important that you're meeting the opportunity by going through that necessary discomfort of feeling something uncomfortable right now. Discomfort isn't always our enemy. It sometimes motivates us to leave behind something we've outgrown. Because if everything's comfortable all the time, we don't have any motivation to make any change whatsoever. And when we see that Ace of Pentacles, this is a time to really go towards your best opportunities. If you look up the Ace of Pentacles in a tarot book or online, it'll often indicate a new job, a new opportunity, some sort of thing that's really opening to you that could lead to success. However, Pentacles don't only have to do with money. They also have to do with our sense of worth and value. So this could be an opportunity for you, Pisces, to really listen to what your higher calling is and what's going to give your valuable life meaning and purpose. And that is this month's tarot scope for every astrological sign. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you do enjoy my content, why not share it with a friend? Also, please click the subscribe button and also just like the video and share it with other people if you find it useful. I do appreciate you coming in every month to listen to these videos, and I look forward to making them every month. It's so much fun for me. If you would like to schedule a one-on-one session with me, you can always go to elliotoracle.com and schedule a one-on-one tarot session with me there. Also, my books, Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, are out at the bookstores and anywhere books are sold. And so I would really appreciate if you do enjoy the books as well to leave a kind review. That really helps the book get out there and it helps widen my audience. Otherwise, I hope you all have a safe and happy next month of March, and do take care, and I will see you again for the Tarot Scope for April 2023.